Hi everyone, welcome to Eden's Secret for another pack and crack video. If you're wondering what crack means, because you're reading it in the title, it means chat. So if you've got good chat here, it means you've got good crack. That's the word that is used for chatting around here. So this is part 3 of our pack and crack video, and I hope you enjoy it. This is the final part in the 3-part series, so keep watching everyone, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we're just continuing on with packing orders here, and for this order we need an unenchanted rose, a rosebud cupcake, a love spell wax melt, a peppermint cream wax melt, and a marshmallow fluff wax melt. So I've got some packs of samples over here, just extras, so I'm going to pop a few of them in. So we've got a piece of Chanel cupcake and a daffodil from the Daffodil and Melon. So I'm just going to line these up, ready to take the photograph. You need to make sure that you can actually see everything on the photograph, so if there are any queries, then you can come back to the picture . And I'm just writing the name on there again. Taking the photo. And this one is going to Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Okay, so the next order is going to Nixa, Missouri in the USA, and we need 2 Autumn Magic. I've only got one there, so I'll get another one. 1 Bakewell tart and 1 unenchanted rose. So I'm thinking 3 parts for these packing videos. Might be too many, so in the future I might just make them as 2-part videos, or just one at a time. So I'm just recycling a box here. A nice strong one. I'm just taking the labels off so as not to confuse any couriers with anything. Sometimes the labels are not easy to get off actually. So as kids, when we went on holiday, because we did go on holidays, probably with with next to nothing. We would go and stay in a tent, and we would nearly always come up to the lakes, the Lake District in the UK, to Keswick, and that's where we would go for our holidays, and we absolutely loved it. And like in the summer in Keswick, I don't know, there was something really special. It sounds stupid, but really special about a lovely warm night in Keswick, and walking down the street eating a bag of chips, because most often than not we couldn't afford fish and chips. Did I take the picture of that order? Yes. And so I've just always had a love for the Lake District. Always. It's just always had a special place in my heart. And although I don't live in Keswick now, it still feels like home. Just gives me a lovely warm feeling to go there. The Lake District, there are two main towns that most people would visit. One is called Windermere, Ambleside. No, Bowness. Bowness is the main town. We always call it Windermere because it literally is right on the lake of Windermere. But Windermere there is a place called Windermere which is a few miles set back from the lake, and then Bowness is where the lakeside is, and where all the tourists go on the big boats and everything. And there's lots of boats there, because you're allowed to take boats on that lake. Not every lake in the lakes are you allowed to take boats on. So yeah, the other main town in the lakes is Keswick, and then there are lots of other places to go. I always think like Bowness is where people with plenty of money go, because there are lots of posh hotels down there and lots of boutique hotels and really classy restaurants, you know, like Michelin star restaurants and things like that. None of which I've been to, by the way. So, back to my story. In 1987, I was looking for a job. And I went to the job centre, which is what you did in those days. And there was a job going in a hotel in Keswick, and that hotel was called the Queen's Hotel, right on the main street it was. So I came home from the job centre. I'd rang the manager from the job centre, the owner of the hotel, and he said, like, can you start tomorrow? No, it wasn't. It was tomorrow, because I remember coming home and saying to my mum, I'm going to live in Keswick tomorrow. And I remember getting up the next morning, and my mum had like all mascara down her face, and I thought, oh, you know, it must have really upset her to lose our first child. You know, I'm the eldest of three. So she must have been crying all night, bless her. And so I literally did. The next day I went to live in Keswick. And that was 2 fantastic years of my life. I absolutely loved living and working there. And I don't know what happened. oh, me and one of the girls who worked there had this idea that we would go and work in Benidorm in Spain. So we literally got a flight and we went out there, but it didn't actually go to plan. Obviously we hardly had any money. We went out there with hardly any money, which was absolutely crazy really. And most of the money we had we'd spent on accommodation for the first week, and I don't know whether we just had a bit of fun for a few days or a week or whatever, and then decided we were going to need to get a job. Well, if you go to Spain, there's a lot of clubs and pubs, and there's a lot of like staff that work out on the street. They stand on the street and try and get you to go into their club or their pub. So we both got a job doing that, but the guy was only paying us £7 a day. I mean, we did have accommodation, but yeah, he was paying us £7 a day to do that. And my friend absolutely loved it, but I don't know, to live on such a small amount of money was very, very difficult. And I couldn't wait to come home actually. So that's what we did. We came home, and so I would just be at home, like living with my mum for the next few years. So how old would I be then? Up until I was about 28. And my sister, she was still over here. Because she followed me to Keswick, and she'd met a local guy from Keswick. His name's Mark, 6'5" he is, big strapping lad he is, very strong. So she'd been with him all the time, and she worked at the stoneworks. He worked at the stoneworks in Crosby Ravensworth, and it happened that John, my husband, he worked there as well, but I didn't know him at this time. And they would always say to me, oh, you must meet John, he's really nice. And they would say to John, oh, you should meet Jackie's sister. My sister's called Jackie. I haven't taken a photo of this one. That's because I'm busy talking. I did actually make a mistake last week. I sent someone's order, and I did actually forget to put something in it, which is something I can't remember ever doing it before. So yeah, and we were like, oh yeah, you know, it was registering that they were trying to get us to meet each other, but not thinking anything would ever come of it. Anyway, Mark and Jackie had their first child, and naturally I would come up to visit them when they had the baby, and while Jackie was still in hospital with the baby, Mark and me went down to the local pub because they lived in that village, and John came, and so we met, and we just really got on from that night. And so the rest, as they say, is history. So I moved up here John got a house, I moved up here, he stayed with his mum and dad, I can't remember for how long, but it was quite a long time, and eventually we moved in together. It's like he moved in with me, but it was his house. And that was in a lovely, lovely little village called Moreland. So it was just a little cottage we lived in. And then we got married in 1996, July the 27th, 1996. And we toured the States for our honeymoon. So we went to New York for a few days. Then we went to Memphis, we went to Graceland, and the people in Memphis were just the nicest people we met. Just really, really lovely southern people they were. And then we went, I think we went to LA, Palm Springs and Vegas. I think that was it. And next year, 2021, is going to be our 25th wedding anniversary, and we said we would go back on our honeymoon. But I don't know if that's going to happen. There are other places I'd like to go. Like Declan would like to go to New York because he hasn't been there before. Yeah, so basically, so after we lived in Moreland, we moved to Crosby Ravensworth, and we're in a converted barn there. Not a big one, but it was really, really nice. The only trouble with it was it was up the valley, and it wasn't on its own. There was another house there joined to us, but it was when I had Declan, and so we were really, really outside of the village, and I wasn't working then, obviously, because I'd had a child. And I missed a bit of hustle and bustle. Now, hustle and bustle to me will be nothing like what hustle and bustle is to you if you live in the city. But you just never saw anyone up the valley. So even walking down into the village, you know, very tiny. I mean, these are tiny villages where we live. Like in Clibborn, I think there's, I don't even know if there's 100 houses. So it's a tiny, tiny village. And this house came up. And honestly, if I can find one, I'll insert a picture of what this house looked like when we bought it. It was literally worse than the Waltons' house. It was a shack. But when we came, it was a sunny night. You know, it's got a decent, you know, good sized garden, and the sun was shining and the sun was setting, and we just felt it. We just felt how lovely it was here. I mean, we still can't believe we bought it when we look back at the picture of what it used to be. And so obviously we bought it and we moved here. And I guess the rest is history. So obviously we've been doing the house up ever since we moved here, and that was in the year 2000. And now it's 2020 and we're still doing the house up. Once you get to one end, you've got to go back to the other end and sort of start again. But we do love living here. And it's not too far out of town. Penrith is like the main town that we go to if we go shopping or anything. And it's about 9 miles into town. 7 as the crow flies probably. So it's really handy for town, where the village we used to live in, that was like 13 or 14 miles out of town, so you couldn't just pop into town. It's probably nothing you know, to most of you that are watching. But yeah, we just like it here. And most of the holidays we've had since we moved here have all been in Florida. We absolutely love going to Florida on holiday. I would love to live there. So the other thing I wanted to mention was, a while ago I was saying that I loved watching Jeffree Star, but I've changed my mind. I've gone off him, and I've never been into Shane. I mean, I obviously haven't watched all of Shane's old videos, but because of all that drama that went on last year, that's really how I found out about them. But the videos I've watched of Shane's, they just seem like it's him in the kitchen. So yeah, I got into watching Jeffree because I really enjoyed the series that he and Shane did together, the collaboration. I really enjoyed that, so I started watching Jeffree. Like, I love the way he put his makeup on. It looked like more everyday makeup to me. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But I don't know, the more I've seen, the less I've liked, shall we say. And all the drama surrounding them, it seems like they love all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it seems to me, I don't know, like all it's about is just getting views. And like the titles are always like clickbaity and over the top, so that you watch, and then when you watch, it's a bit of a letdown. And we'll do anything just to get views. I mean, I don't know them, but that's just what it seems like to me. It's like loads of channels are inventing drama now. Not that I think drama's not real, because it goes on in all communities. Like our community, it goes on here as well. And then there's all the sexual innuendos, which, being the world's greatest prude, I don't like. So now there's more drama going on. And just all the things they've done in the past. And I don't like what I'm hearing. Like, what's true and what's not, I don't know. But I think in this case, there's no smoke without fire. So I just started watching less and less until I wasn't watching anymore. And then all of a sudden all this drama's popping up again. And all the reaction channels are talking about all the horrible things that Jeffree's done in the past, and what Shane's done in the past. And I respect Shane, because he's actually done a video admitting to everything that he's done. So I did watch that, and I actually respect him for what he said and the way he said it. And that's what I say when I didn't know what his videos were in the past. And from what he said, I don't like that. You know, whether he was just doing them thinking he was funny, or was he just trying to come up with new ideas to keep people watching and get loads of views. You know, it's back to that let's make loads of money type thing. It doesn't matter what we do, as long as we get the views, people are watching them, and people obviously like them. So yeah, it's a shame. Oh, seems like I'm a product short, so I'm going to leave that one. Leave that one to last. Just put that in there. That's what the honey heart, the bath bomb, the honey heart comes like, in a lovely box. So Jeffree just seems to be continuing on as though nothing's happened. He's just uploading his videos like he usually does. I hope James Charles keeps out of it, because his channel's nearly up to 20 million subscribers now. You know, I know what it's like when a community, you know, where 5 or 10 people all side against you when you haven't done anything to deserve it. So I don't know anything about James Charles. I'm not particularly interested in him. But I just hope he keeps out of it and doesn't get involved, and just put all his effort in to growing his channel and doing what he does and doing a good job. I know that's what I would do. I would not get involved. Absolutely not. So that's my synopsis of all the drama that's going on. If you were interested, you might not be. So these are just the water lily soaps going in here. Just get plenty of packing peanuts in there. Need some more actually. So what will come of it, all we'll see. It seems like a lot of hypocrisy goes on around that community as far as I can see. And this is it. We're coming to the end of this 3-part series on me packing my products, pack and chat. Hope you enjoyed them. I've got some soap videos coming up for you next. And I know you're looking forward to them, because I know you like those best of all. We've got a collab coming up soon as well. It's like a worldwide collab where loads of soapers from around the world are taking part. I wondered who was doing all these collabs, and I found out because someone invited me. So that's it for now. Okay everyone, that's the final part of our 3-part series of the pack and crack videos. Pack and chat it should be. But hope you enjoyed watching. If you liked them, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share if you want to. Don't forget to check out our Instagram page, Eden's Secret UK. All links in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching everyone. This is Karen from Eden's Secret here in the Eden Valley in Cumbria. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.